Okay, you might remember me last time on about EG valve, exhaust gas regulator. Right, now, this is what damage it does to your engine. If you follow me, right, you've got a nice, perfectly good piston here, right. As you can tell, it's in perfect nick. It needs a bit of a clean up, but that is how it come out. Right, you got your rings here, your compression ring. Compression ring number 1, compression ring number 2, and oil scraper. Right, that's on the bottom. So as you can tell, it's in perfect nick. Even though, don't worry about a bit of rust. That'll come off. It's just because it's been stored. And as you can tell, they will be replaced, because then again, as you can see, they're more or less scratched and basically worn. Right, I'll show you that in a minute, because I'm going to show you how to take them rings off, and then you know. But from this, overheating your engine, right, it caused damage to your shell bearings. Right, as you can tell, that sits on your top. So your crankshaft here, that sits on top. Put that down a minute, and that sits on bottom like that. So as you can see, it's a ring. And then your crankshaft sits in the middle. So as it's rotating, it keeps going and going and going like that. Right, and then there's plenty of oil what keeps it lubricated. But there's two things I've noticed about these rings, right? Is on here you got what you call a lock lug there. Yeah? Now when they sit in, they go in. So this is your thing here, they sit in and they go like that and then they lock. Now they always tell you your rotation of your crankshaft always goes clockwise. Now there's a reason for it why. For number one, your engine does go clockwise when it's running. But for number two, if you reverse start manually, now just come back down here, right, that is locking it in place while it's in clockwise rotation. So it keeps keeping it down, as you can tell, there's a little thing there. Right, but if you're going to go reverse, what's it going to do? It's going to pop back out. It's going to run a full 180 over with your crankshaft, come back up and do damage to your bores on the bottom, and that's what causes engine damage. There's another thing I've noticed as well, you can see it all scraping. And I was on about the stall procedure, on about the motorway how it stalls when it keeps cutting out. That's why, because as well as dirt being on there, it's been grinding itself in. So every time it hits this point at a certain mark, because of lack of oil, it stops dead. That's what causes problems with your engine. Now it won't start up straight away, because this, or I mean, will be red hot. It'll be like red inside. So, also, that's your bottom. That's your bottom one, as you can tell. That sits on the bottom. This sits on the top. Now these have been somebody else has had all this engine before. They thought, oh, hang on a minute, I'll rebuild it. Not knowing what they're doing, put it back together. It ran fine at first, but the crankshaft pulley were bang, bang, bang. So nobody knew until I come along. Now I showed you the lock on there. Now there's a reason why. Because on the other side of the block, right, it has the same lock on that. Now, you see any locks on that side? Or that side? No. You know why? Because it's improper seating. That is the wrong shell for the car. And that's what another problem. Because it's been going like this. Right? Been doing that. But really fast. So you can imagine vibration. Now, your crankshaft, as it's running, vibrates with that, as it's doing that, yeah? Now what's going to make it first? Is it going to be the flywheel? No, because the flywheel is too strong. Right, so the next part it's going to go for is your crankshaft pulley. It's natural, right? Because your crankshaft pulley is only spot welded together. Right, so what is it going to do? It's going to make them weak. So that's where you get your rattling, your bang 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 from. It's going to affect your alternator. Your battery's not charging. That's what another thing what causes it for stall, because it's lots of power, lack of oil, and damage to these See, it all comes as one. It's always, whenever you're going to strip an engine, right, and you're having problems with an engine, these are the ones what are going to turn around and tell you that your evidence, basically, what happened. It always says, now if you get the book on the car, they have a picture inside, and it shows you like scratches, dirt, damage, whatever, right, and you match your shells up with that picture, and it actually tells you that. Then you put two and two together, how it all works out, so it's very easy. So that's how you solve things. But what I also have noticed as well is they've been sitting right in, because as you can see they're all black. Right, that's normal, that's how they should be, because there's no oil bin underneath them, which there shouldn't be. Right, but if you look at these, they look new but they're not. And just strip through a bit, I'll turn it around. They're all damaged. Now, on the number four piston, these what they're sitting in, right? Now, they'll be sitting on top, no oil. That's normal, that's normal operation of a shell, right? But that isn't. That has been getting oil, right, and it shouldn't be. That should be that colour. So that's not been sitting right. So sometime in its life, as it's been rotated round, it's not been getting on. It's not been getting its right oil. Well, oil's been on that, and it shouldn't be. Oil's not been on that because it's not moved, even though it's the wrong shell. But if I would have left it any longer, the shell would have turned around and, well, it would have damaged something, which it already has started doing because of the wear and tear of the scratches. You want to see the piston? I'll show you the piston.